Suzume, Weathering with You, Your Name, A Garden of Words, Children Who Chase Lost Voices, 5 centimeters per second, A Place Promised in Our Early Days. Movies that speak to us on so many levels, from bittersweet journeys to time-bending romance and epic quests. Each of these movies have one thing in common: the mastermind behind it all, Makoto Shinkai. Born in 1973, Shinkai is a renowned Japanese filmmaker, animator, and author known for his visually stunning and emotionally resonating animated films. His works often explore themes of love, distance, and the passage of time, capturing audiences worldwide with their exquisite animation and poignant storytelling. Today, we will look at most of his movies and appreciate his work. Mild spoiler warning for those who have not watched any of these movies yet. Later on, I would like to look at all his works and make an entire analysis on him, but that will take a lot of me, so I need to know if you really want that. Leave a like, subscribe, and let's start with our first movie. In an alternate post-World War II Japan, the North is controlled by the Union, whilst the South is controlled by the USA. The North has a mysterious tower that can access multiple dimensions. Our three main characters, Hiroki, Takuya, and Sayuri, make a promise to fly to that tower. However, Sayuri falls into a coma and is sent away. Soon after, Hiroki and Takuya grow apart and their promise of reaching the tower fades away. Years later, Hiroki hears of Sayuri's condition and her connection to the tower. The two friends reunite to wake her up and fulfill their promise. As they near the tower, Sayuri awakes, but in doing so alters reality around her. In the title, A Place Promised is the tower that the group dream of visiting one day, and in their early days represents their hopeful, innocent period of their life when the promise was made. Looking at comments from the public, there are mixed opinions. One, there's people that are bored, and then there's people who quite enjoy it, even though it's not Shinkai's best work. It has a few Your Name undertones, so this might be where he got the inspiration for that, but we will get to that very soon. I personally feel this is his weakest film, which is understandable as it was one of his first. From here, he only grew to be better exponentially. Other than that, I don't recommend this film unless you really want to see where he started. The speed of a cherry blossom falling is 5 centimeters per second. In this film, this symbolizes the inevitable process of moving apart and the fleeting nature of life and relationships. This is separated into 3 chapters, each focusing on Takaki and Akari's life at different stages. Chapter 1 begins with the two being school friends with a close bond. Even though Akari moves away, they keep in contact through letters. One day Takaki decides to visit her, but since it was winter, a heavy storm hits, delaying him by a few hours. This doesn't stop him from finally meeting her. Chapter 2 deals with Takaki in high school. He still hasn't forgotten about Akari even though there are other girls crushing on him. He writes emails that he never sends to Akari and she feels he has moved on, so she doesn't tell him how he feels. Chapter 3 now deals with their adulthood. Takaki has a job while Akari is engaged to another man. She was able to move on, but Takaki was not able to, affecting his life. The two pass each other on a railway, but when the train passes, Akari is gone and Takaki smiles, meaning he's ready to move on. I quite enjoyed this movie. The symbolism, animation, and the way the story was told in a few chapters of their lives. I can see a lot of people getting confused with the storyline as I did, but rewatching it or reflecting on it can begin to tug on your heartstrings, and oh baby, that's just the beginning. A possible attempt at a Ghibli-style movie, Children Who Chase Lost Voices follows a young girl, Asuna, who embarks on a journey to an underground world called Agatha. In the title, Chasing Lost Voices may refer to Asuna going through her quest to reconnect with voices that are lost, such as her deceased father or people from Agatha. The children refer to the youth and innocence of the characters as they navigate the wonderful, mysterious world. In the film, we meet Asuna, who spends most of her time listening to a crystal radio that her father gave her before he passed on. She encounters a strange creature but is saved by a boy named Shun, who passes on soon after. Asuna meets with her substitute teacher, Mr. Morisaki. He has intel on Agatha, where the dead may be revived. Driven by his need to revive his wife, they journey to Agatha. Here they meet Shun, Shun's brother, and loads of enemies that do not want them there. In the end, Morisaki disregards the natural balance of nature and life and death, whereas Asuna learns to accept loss and moves back to the surface with more wisdom. This movie was a jump in quality and I quite enjoyed it. It was simple to follow along and there were not a lot of deep meanings where you had to look into it to understand the movie. From here, Shinkai's films only got better and better. A short film, A Garden of Words, focuses on an unexpected relationship between a high school student, Takayo, and an older woman, Yukari. Takayo is an aspiring shoemaker and spends his school hours going to the garden in Tokyo to sketch his designs. Here's where he meets Yukari, avoiding her responsibilities. She is actually a teacher at his school, but is on leave due to students bullying her. This complicates their relationship even further. As the rainy season ceases, so does their meetings. Takayo confesses his feelings to her, but she rejects. However, the film ends with both characters growing from their experiences, ready to face their own futures. Referring to the title, the garden is a private area for our protagonists to run away from their busy lives and to grow emotionally. The words are the significance of the conversation and emotional connections made with those words. A fun Easter egg is that Yukari appears as Mitsuha's teacher in Your Name. This film has absolutely stunning graphics and emotion. For a short film film, it felt like hours. It's quite impossible for things to get better, right? A love story told through time. Taki and Mitsuha are high school students from different times that start to swap bodies mysteriously. Mitsuha is a girl living in a rural area, longing to live in the city, while Taki is a city boy who works at a part-time job. One day they swap bodies and live each other's life. Due to this, they develop a bond and start setting rules when they swap bodies. Soon, Taki realizes Mitsuha's town was destroyed by a meteor 3 years ago, and that he is swapping bodies with a person from the past. They struggle to find each other but finally meet at the creator's room. Here, Taki convinces her to evacuate the town. In succeeding, the town is saved and fate is altered. They both have faint memories of each other, and one day they stumble across each other on a staircase where they say the title of the movie, What's Your Name? I made a video on this movie a while ago, so if you want to see the full review, you can see it in the card above, but a short one would be that this is one of his best movies I ever watched. The concept is amazing and the animation and soundtrack know how to create emotion. Our protagonists do a small cameo in Suzume, but are better seen in Weathering With You as the architecture student and a jewelry saleswoman. The title alone describes the endurance of hardships, reflecting on the character's struggles while signifying the companionship and support between the protagonists, Hodaka and Hina. In Weathering With You, Hodaka is a runaway from the rural village hoping to find a job. He lands a job at a magazine or cult in Tokyo. He later meets Hina, a sweet girl who can control the weather through prayer. She stays with her younger brother Nagi as they struggle to meet ends meet. With her powers, she becomes the Sunshine Girl and is paid to remove the constant rain at certain events, but these powers come at a cost as she slowly turns into a weather maiden every time she uses her power. Eventually, she is sacrificed to bring good weather all around Tokyo. For Hodaka to save her, they need to accept the constant rain. He saves her from the heavens, resulting in non-stop rain. They meet again after a few years, reuniting what they lost. The concept of the movie was amazing. Paired with the great visuals, music and storytelling, this is a certified classic in Shinkai's arsenal. Our last movie, hopefully not for long, is the one that blew me away. Suzume centers around a girl of the same name who goes on a quest to close magical doors that may harm reality. She is a regular high school student that meets a mysterious man called Sota who is searching for ruins. She follows him to an abandoned building where she finds a door standing alone. She opens the door, releasing a destructive force. It's up to her and Sota to close the remaining doors before the city is destroyed. In this journey, Suzume learns about Sota's backstory and confronts her past, especially of her mom passing from a natural disaster. At the final door, Suzume and Sota work together to finally seal it away. Here she learns about the importance of closure and moving forward. She returns home with a newer, better mindset. If they ever bring this movie back to cinemas, I am there in a heartbeat. The best visuals from any Shinkai's movie. It is pretty easy to follow and only get confusing at some parts, but overall it's an amazing movie. If you want me to rank his films, I made a short that explains exactly that. Watch it here in the card above. As I said earlier, Shinkai is a mastermind and deserves all the praise he receives. The goal of this video is just to appreciate his work, and I would like to do that better in the future. So let's get this video out there and subscribe for me. Thank you all and take care.